The No Kings protest is going to be way larger than anticipated right now. So much so that Virginia's governor, Glenn Youngkin, has activated their National Guard to have them ready to deploy should they be needed for tomorrow's protests. Texas is deploying their National Guard to Austin ahead of the No Kings protest. Guys, this protest is projected to be larger than 26 million people, set to break records. And since Trump, Caroline Leavitt, and Mike Johnson have started attacking the protest and calling it Hate America rally, RSVPs have more than doubled to this event. All those black dots are No Kings events planned for tomorrow, Saturday, October 18th. And those are just official ones reported on nokings.org. There are more happening than what are listed on here. And look at this. It goes to Hawaii, Alaska. It is global. Europe is even joining in with these protests. As we take a closer look, you can see there are hundreds and hundreds of No Kings protests planned just in the United States alone tomorrow. So guys, this is going to be huge. But this is going to have both Republicans, Democrats, independents, people of all sorts of backgrounds and political views coming out because they believe in America. I just went to nokings.org, and you can go there too to find an event near you. But I just learned that the one that's being planned in the city I live in is not even listed here. And there's a ton of people that are going to show up to that. So that's just showing that the numbers with the RSVPs are being way underreported. And I myself haven't even RSVP'd officially to mine. And I'm sure there's thousands, if not millions, of other Americans that have also not done the same thing. And my friends, that's what's got Trump and the Republicans shaking in their boots right now. Comment what you guys think about this. Like, share, spread the word, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
Tomorrow, Saturday, October the 18th, is No Kings Day. And Americans across the country and around the world will be turning out to march in protest of the rot, the deceit, the theft taking place in American government at this moment. Before that happens, I hope there are a few things that you understand. They'll tell you that the people participating in these protests hate America. That is a lie. The people participating in these protests love America. What they hate are the con artists, the liars, and the thieves who have managed to insinuate themselves into the American government. They'll tell you that the people who participate in these protests are members of a terrorist organization, Antifa. That is a lie. Antifa is not an organization. Antifa is a philosophy that opposes fascism. America has been Antifa since 1776. Nothing could be more American than protesting against fascism. They'll tell you that the people participating in these protests are violent. That's a lie. The only violence that has taken place at any of these protests has been perpetrated by Maga agitators. These protests have been and will be peaceful. And it is our right, as it is articulated in the Constitution, to march in protest of what we consider to be an unjust government. They'll tell you that the protests tomorrow are in support of socialism. Yet America is already largely socialistic. Taxpayer-funded roads, bridges, taxpayer-funded police departments and fire departments, taxpayer-funded military pensions, TRICARE, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. These are all socialistic programs, and you can't imagine life without them. Tomorrow, people will be protesting against that incompetent, slobbering, drunk Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, against that bleached blonde ambulance chaser, Pam Bondi, Attorney General, against Gestapo Barbie, Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security, against that disgrace to journalism, Karkar Levitt, against that brainworm-addled heroin addict, RFK Jr., and most importantly, against the Lizard King himself, that orange-stained, pedophile-protecting monstrosity in the White House, the liar-in-chief, Donald J. Trump. Don't let them fool you. America has a long and proud tradition of protesting against injustice, and that's what will be happening tomorrow. True Americans, patriotic Americans, will rise up and demand that their country be given back to them. I hope to see you out there.
This takes some real balls. The Republican renaming the No Kings protest, calling it the Hate America rallies, just regular folks we're talking, going out on the streets, exercising their First Amendment rights. So how are they able to get away with this messaging? Now, I've worked in MAGA media, MAGA newsrooms, and I'm going to tell you how. It works because MAGA believes it. MAGA believes that Antifa is everywhere, that they're the crowd in these protests. They believe a lot of the protesters, for whatever reason, are being paid to be there, even if there are hundreds of thousands of protests across several cities. And people like Speaker Mike Johnson, he is well aware of their beliefs. So they get a short, tight slogan, and then they have everybody say it, from the Speaker of the House to politicians who are not household names, and then they throw conspiracy theory into the mix. This is the same party that lectured the left after the murder, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, about hate speech and inciting violence, and now they're calling protesters, some of them, terrorists and pro-Hamas. No Kings has this on their website. Apparently, these are all the protests happening across the country. All of these protests. Will this break through to MAGA? Probably not.
We're doing this for our country because we are the real patriots, not these MAGA fake Christian nationalists. Tomorrow, we're going to show them what true patriotism looks like. Tomorrow is No Kings Protest 2.0. There's over 2,500 protests planned throughout the United States. They're expecting over 10 million people to show up to these protests. It's going to be a very good time. If you are sick of high inflation, if you are sick of high grocery prices, if you are sick of ICE going into businesses and houses and ripping families apart, if you're sick of dictator Trump, then tomorrow is the day to show up and be heard. Since Mike Johnson and Republicans have been attacking the No Kings protest this week, signups for the events across the U.S. have doubled. Trust me, America. There's lots of people who are thinking like you. We are all sick of dictator Trump's shit. And tomorrow is a day to be loud and to chant USA, USA, and to sing God Bless America with like-minded people who are sick of the tyranny of dictator Trump. I'm sick of hearing the lies that Portland and Chicago are on fire from Antifa, an organization that doesn't exist. I'm sick of seeing these cowardly ICE agents attacking priests and killing dogs. I did a story about this yesterday. They shot a family dog. I'm sick of them busting into people's houses and ripping people apart and arresting real American citizens. It's happening. And if you're sick of it too, tomorrow's the day to stand up and be loud. Went to the first No Kings protest back in June. It was a lot of fun. Like-minded people. We chanted USA, USA. We sang God Bless America. Everyone had American flags and cool signs, okay? Don't be intimidated. If you run into a MAGA tomorrow, let them talk to you. Just turn around and walk away. Blow them a kiss. They hate it when you blow them a kiss. Blow them a kiss. Shake their hand and turn around and walk the other way. I know you are with millions of other people across the U.S. who are with you and got your back. But we got to keep it cool tomorrow. We got to keep it calm. Keep your head on a swivel. If you hear anything, if you see anything, say something to a policeman. Most of all, have fun tomorrow. It's going to be a big party. And just know that there's millions of other Americans marching with you in different cities across the United States. We're doing this for our country because we are the real patriots, not these MAGA fake Christian nationalists. They're not the real patriots. We are. And tomorrow we're going to show them what true patriotism looks like at the No Kings protest. Over 2,500 of them, over 10 million people across the United States tomorrow. So go out and have some fun, get in some good trouble, and don't take any shit from these MAGA pieces of crap. God bless America. And I will be going live on TikTok tomorrow for my No Kings protest. I'll be interviewing people, showing people signs, speeches, rallies, all that fun stuff. So if you don't have a protest near you, you can watch mine on TikTok. But if you do have a protest near you, I highly recommend you show up and you go. It's a lot of fun. Trust me.
Well. The current regime is scared as hell, baby. They don't want you to get out there in the streets on Saturday to protest for democracy and freedom here in the US of A. No. They're so very scared. As a matter of fact, they are so consumed by the fear of our freedom and our democracy, baby, that the only thing that they can project back to you is that same fear. Boo. That's why you've got Republicans like the rolling trick Greg Abbott pulling stunts saying he's going to deploy the National Guard into the streets of Austin tomorrow, baby. And that little idea that they have is starting to spread across America. And that's what we want them to do. Listen to me. Listen to me. I've been calling for this since back in the fucking day when they first threatened to spread the military across the US of A. Do it. Please do it. This is what we want. You see, the way you fight your opponent, dear, is you take what they fling at you and you throw it right back in their face. So please deploy the National Guard to red states. Go ahead. Do it right away. I've been begging for this since the first time the thought of martial law had been thrown down. Because I know, baby, that this Republican pro-Nazi regime doesn't want to unload the military on people who look like me. They want melanation in this nation out in the streets so they can declare martial law, baby. Not us beige. They don't want to declare martial law. They don't want to have to force our military to turn their weapons on their very own families and neighbors and members of their congregation, dear. That's not what they want. And they damn sure don't want members of the military out in the streets seeing millions of us stand up and fight for our democracy. I want to remind you of something right here, dear. When you're going out there tomorrow to those streets, you are fighting for the freedoms of the democracy of those men and women, our brothers, our sisters, our nieces, our nephews, our mothers, our fathers, our uncles, our aunties. You are fighting for the freedoms of those standing there in those fatigues. They go to other countries and fight for our freedoms. It is our job. And the way we support them is by fighting for our freedoms here. They do not want the military to see with their own eyes and hear with their own ears the millions of Americans who are standing on the right side of history. No, they don't. This is the biggest mistake they could ever make. Do not let them scare you today. We have the upper hand in every kind of way. In every kind of way. I've been hoping that they would deploy the National Guard and the military in force across the US of A. So those military service members could see with their own eyes and with their own ears the millions of Americans, their neighbors, their brothers, their sisters, their mothers, their fathers, their grandparents, their nieces, their nephews, their cousins, baby, the members of their school boards, their congregations, the children across this fucking nation standing together in solidarity. They don't want the military to see that, baby. They want you scared of your own military. They want you in your home, cowering, scared, baby, because that is the only way that they can control the military. They don't want them to know the truth. They don't want them to see the truth, honey. No, they don't. So make sure you take to the street tomorrow peacefully and show our brothers and sisters in arms which side of history they should be standing on, baby. Let them know that you are fighting for their freedoms and their democracy because they were willing to risk their lives for ours overseas. You let them know expeditiously. This shit is not going to go their way tomorrow, honey. Not at all. Do not fear a fool, baby, because a fool will make a foolish mistake, and the mistake is being made, honey, and it's time to take that mistake and throw it right back in their face. That is how you fight this game. That's how we're going to play. That's how we're going to win today. Yes, there are members of the military that are okay with this regime, but not all of them, baby. And even if they think they're okay with this regime, do you think they're going to be okay with spilling the blood of their loved ones for that orange man? For the fucking Klan? No. We're already seeing high-ranking military officers retire of their own free will today because they will not bend the knee in any kind of way. We're already seeing leaders of the National Guard coming out to say that if I deploy my troops, it will be to stand with the people against the regime. That is already starting to happen across the US of A. We are gaining ground today, and tomorrow is a big day to gain a bunch of ground in the US of A. So do not fear that fool today. We have the cards, and we are ready to play. Now, if you can't take to the streets, there's other things you can do. You can tune in to the lives, baby. Or maybe you can babysit for someone who wants to take to the streets, but they have children, hun. There are so many things you can do. You can reach out to your community today and say, hey, do you need some signs, honey? Do you need a flag or two? Because make sure you bring your American flags with you. Make sure you show the military what you're fighting for here, dear. Have your flag in tow. Because in America, we don't bend the knee to fascism, honey. In America, we are one. We are united together. And those that choose to divide us will fall underneath the feet of freedom and democracy. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Do you want to see something that I saw this morning that really pissed me off? I thought you did. Sometimes I go on that other platform that starts with an F and ends with a literature thing that you read. In case you haven't heard, it has no monitoring anymore. So a lot of the things you read on there are pure trash. And bots. And I happened to open up to an article from NewJersey.com about this weekend's protests, which our president and Mike Johnson are calling Antifa-funded and paid protesters and an I Hate America protest. I don't think you can see the top, but this is from NJ.com, and the headline is Anti-Trump Protest Planned Saturday. It lists all the places where you can go to the protests, and demonstrations span the entire state. Many are listed on a webpage or organized by the 50501 movement, a nonprofit political organization behind the National Day of Protest. Just because I'm always curious what's in the comments on this particular platform, I decided to open it up, and to my dismay, here's the first comment. He's your president, and New Jersey is turning red. Jack for New Jersey. Blech. Vomit. Vomit just uncontrollably came up in my mouth. He's not your king, but he's still your president. Okay, but it's still a democracy. Yes, this makes sense. Kings definitely have to wait for the other party to open the government. Makes a whole lot of sense. People have way too much time. Whether you support him or not, he deserves credit for getting that peace deal done. Okay? Also, don't see peace. Jersey throwing another temper tantrum. How about this? Forget about rolling your eyes. How about opening them? This is funny. Jersey is slowly turning red, people. While if there are no kings, we should remove Dr. King's Day from celebration days. Oh my God, that's his fucking name. We're not saying he's a king. That was his name. Guess what? He's still the president. Okay, this platform obviously bothers me quite a bit, and it is very one-sided when you go on it. And I do just go on it to look at my friends' kids. But just brings up the point that they're trying to brainwash us into thinking that this is the way that America thinks. And it is not. And we will not let them. And we will rise above. So we'll see you Saturday. Leave me a message in the comments if you're going to be there on Saturday, if you'll be in New Jersey or any other state.
Dear Mon Pa Maga, you keep saying Donald Trump is America first. So I just want to know, what the hell are you talking about? Because in the real America, eggs are $3.59 a dozen, milk's $4.17 a gallon, steaks $12 a pound, and ground beef over $6. That's not dinner. That's a down payment. Inflation's up 2.9%, GDP dropped 0.3%, unemployment's at 4.3%, the highest it's been in 4 years. Small businesses are bleeding, farmers are begging, and the goddamn government is shut down. Infrastructure, Frozen military pay on the chopping block, but Trump's $200 million ballroom at the White House still going up. Gold ceilings, velvet curtains, the whole Versailles cosplay. While you're stretching ground beef with breadcrumbs, Mr. America First is out in the Middle East calling himself a peacemaker. And get this, he's just greenlit a $20 billion bailout for Argentina. Not for you, not for American workers, for hedge fund billionaires, his rich buddies, so they don't have to lose money on bad bets.
Argentina rescue package, America First.
It's really meant to help a good financial philosophy where Argentina can, after 20 years of disaster.
He's literally using your money to make his donors richer. That's not America First. That's a con job wrapped in a flag. Chickens up, bread's up, rent's up, gas, insurance, utilities, all up. Your paycheck, still flat, your savings, gone, and this orange fraud's out there selling the country like a clearance condo in Dubai. He doesn't give a goddamn about America. He doesn't care about your bills, your job, or your kids. He cares about his name, his money, and his next foreign payday. He isn't America First. He's Donald Trump first. Always has been, always will be. So next time he says America First, remember, he's lying. Because right now, America's paying more for eggs, steak, and rent, while he's building a ballroom and bailing out billionaires. Donald Trump is Donald Trump first. And America, we're just the suckers picking up that goddamn tab.
All right, I know this is controversial, but I'm just going to say it. Donald Trump and his administration is weak and falling apart. Donald Trump and his administration are weak and they are utterly collapsing. Now, that's not to say that he hasn't done harm. He's done a lot of harm. But the harm Donald Trump has done has come almost exclusively from the things he has broken, pre-existing systems he has broken that people rely on. But let's look at what Donald Trump has actually done. When it comes to his attempt to reassert America on the global stage by his tariff war with every nation, he has utterly fallen apart and basically given in to every demand of every single nation. It's pathetic. Economists even call him Taco Trump. Trump always chickens out. And let's look at his invasions of the cities. Trump talked a big game about invading the cities, right up until the people in those cities said, no, we're not going to let you do that. And then Trump was just like, oh okay, well, you should call me. Maybe we can figure something out. And ICE. ICE is probably the worst thing Donald Trump is doing. It's horrible. But at the same time, they can barely find anyone to do those actual jobs. Everyone is quitting. They can't hold on to anyone. ICE, and I don't suspect a lot of those people in ICE are going to be interested in doing that job when they're not getting paid from the upcoming government shutdown. Donald Trump even got his own, and I'm not kidding, Night of the Long Knives moment, and he used it to get some people fired from their jobs, shut down a late-night host, and then scream running around in circles looking for the CEO of anti-fascism. It's pathetic. It's pathetic and weak. Because the simple thing we need to realize is Trump has no power. He's a yapper. He's a talker. He talks a big game, but every time he's met with any amount of resistance, he falters. And the only way that Donald Trump is going to have any power at all in this world is if we believe his bullshit, believe his yapping, believe his very well-trained reality TV, Hollywood yapping. If we believe he has power and we obey in advance. Because the simple fact is, every time Donald Trump has met with any amount of resistance whatsoever, he has completely faltered like a bitch. And it's time for us to start remembering that.